Rutgers fans, excuse my hair and my face being all red. What a brutal game to sit through. I mean, great game. Hats off to Illinois for pulling it out at the end. But, between the media timeouts, which drag on, the freezing cold weather, and then the way it ended, I'm so pissed off. I don't even know if I should do this show right now. Ethan Kaliakmanis, gutsy end of the game, running twice for a first down. Kyle Manungai, these are the stories of the team. These are the leaders of the team, getting the touchdown at the end there. Overall, I think for most of the game, especially the first half and part of the third quarter, if not the whole third quarter, I think Rutgers was the better team out there. I think Illinois clearly out-executed Rutgers in the fourth quarter. I think execution overall for Rutgers was really lacking in the second half, defense and offense. Several just, brutal defensive holding and PI calls. There were a few calls that I think the refs swallowed their whistle when Rutgers was interfered with, namely, KJ Duff late in the fourth quarter on that drive looked like he was mugged pretty bad, but no call, and was almost like it was automatic. In the last drive for Illinois, we get the holding call on Longer Beam, just brutal, puts them in great position, and they capitalized on it ultimately. I thought Kirk Shiraka on the third offensive drive there, feeding Kyle and then switching it up to the pass was really, really smart. Called a pretty good game in that regard. Kind of starting and stopping for Rutgers most of the day, but the offense did, even though there were some hiccups. And Athan's fumble. You can't really now, looking at the whole game, hold it that hard against him because he won. He didn't win, but he got us in position to do well by using his feet late in the game. But I wish he would just kept running because I felt momentum shift when Athan put the ball on the ground and Illinois recovered, even though it really looked like Athan recovered. These refs gave us a bunch of calls today, but they seemed like they gave a ton of calls both ways, and they helped us a lot too, but really looked like, Illinois maybe made out better at the end. Elephant in the room, though, Greg Schiano, man. There's a lot of debate as to, he's a great program builder, but is he a good game day coach? This goes down as a huge cinder block of a weight onto the scale for a bad game day coach. I don't think I've ever seen. I understand, it's just a, run-of-the-mill icing the kicker. I get it, and you live and die by what works and what doesn't. If the guy hits the field goal and then he comes back and misses it, or he comes back and they go for it and then don't make it, he's a genius, and now he's a complete bozo. But at the end of the day, man, it's a almost 60-yard field goal. Rutgers has all the momentum on defense. It's fourth down. The wind is blowing in Illinois' face. The guy's longest ever was 59. This is 58 on the road on a freezing cold day with the wind blowing in your face. You don't have time to collect your thoughts. You don't have time to compose yourself. You let him kick the field goal. You let him kick it. Even if he made it, whatever. Even if he came back out and attempted the field goal again. Even if he came back out and attempted the field goal again, you don't give him a chance to take a practice shot on a near 60-yard field goal in the freezing cold with the wind blowing in your face. You make him have one shot and one shot only. We would have won this game. That is one of the most abysmal things I've ever seen. All in all, you like the development of the team. The defense leaves a lot to be desired because, yes, Athan putting the ball on the floor really changed the momentum of this game. But what really harmed it was Rutgers' answers. Later in the game, Rutgers goes down, gets a touchdown, puts themselves back up by 9 points, and they look to still be in control of this game. And what do you know? We take another bad angle on a inside pass. And I think it was Bryant who absolutely destroyed us today. Bryant goes all the way down to the 4-yard line. They score easily. And I thought that was a big turning point in the game. From that point on, kind of Illinois had the upper hand. And then the defense, once again, look, at the end of the day, the defense did their job on the last drive up until the last play. 4th and 13, you let the guy go into the end zone. There's almost no time on the clock, and you let him go all the way into the end zone. Just indicative of this season, great. We're 6-5. We have a chance to go 6-6, but honestly, it's hard to recover from something that deflating that happened today. You got to go on the road to Michigan State. Can you beat Michigan State? Yes, you can. You can finish with 7 wins, and that's great. You'll go to a bowl game despite all the injuries, but there was a lot this season. There was a lot there for the taking. You could have beaten Nebraska. You could have been prepared to play UCLA, who was struggling. You could have been prepared to play them at home. You could have executed better and coached better today and gotten the win. This season could have been a lot different. Great. It's still a success in the sense that you made a bowl game despite all the injuries. Happy for you. We'll see how it is after next week. But this was a huge missed opportunity, which is indicative of this season and really Rutgers football in general over the years. Missed opportunities. Missed opportunities over and over and over again. This was a huge, huge missed opportunity. Great game. Hats off to both teams for playing a hard-fought Big Ten game late in November, but absolutely deflating for Rutgers fans. Absolutely deflating. Especially after sitting in the freezing cold, these media timeouts when it's on TV. I don't want to be a whiner, but geez, they drag, and they are all the time so frequent. They drag out. It's brutal. You sit there in the freezing cold. It's brutal. And then to have the game end that way for the hometown fans, for the unseen, it's brutal. It's a brutal loss. It sucks. One more chance to finish the season above 500, limp out of this season. A lot of these seniors are not going to be here next year. Program's doing okay, but man, I don't know how long it's going to take me to get over this. We have basketball on deck. I'll do a deeper dive of this game with the stats and everything else, and we'll break it down a little bit. Hats off to Illinois for winning, but there's just Rutgers really struggled executing, struggled coaching. Even the play where, Illinois gets all the way down to the 4 and the game has kind of changed after we took control back. You call a blitz with one of your best cover guys. Now, I know I've been crying for blitzes, but the way the defense was playing, it's 3rd down, 3rd and long. It was almost like this whole game, 3rd and long was like an automatic first down for Illinois, whether it was. And I don't think the stats bear that out. I actually think we did okay. I don't know what the end stat was. I think midway through the 4th, our stats on 3rd down defense weren't that bad, but it seemed like everything was some kind of holding call on defense, some kind of PI, or they go and get the yards. And then the 4th and 13 was just the icing and cherry on top. One of the most brutal losses I can recall as a Rutgers fan. Got to be one of the most brutal losses I have ever witnessed. And to do it in the freezing cold at the end of the year with such a season of so many missed opportunities is just brutal. The way Rutgers was playing the last 2 games was great. They played okay today. In some spots, they played excellent. In some spots, they called an excellent game from an offensive and defensive coordinator standpoint. In other spots, they were kind of back to the team we saw in that 4-game losing streak where they just couldn't execute when they needed to. And no more evident than those last 2 plays. The timeout by Coach Giano and the pathetic 4th and 13 touchdown play on the last play by Illinois there. Just indicative of that bad part of the season. So it comes back to bite us. We are not beyond that bad play that we experienced midseason. Chance to get above 500 against Michigan State. Another huge missed opportunity for Rutgers today. And there's plenty of blame to go around. Gutsy effort by the kids, gutsy effort by the quarterback, gutsy effort by the seniors, gutsy effort by Kyle Monungai, gutsy effort by the defense, gutsy effort by Aaron Lewis with the sack late in the game, gutsy effort all around in that regard. Absolutely terrible way to end it, and terrible for all involved. So that is what it is, guys. If you haven't done so yet, click subscribe. I'm out here talking to you in the freezing cold to bring you Rutgers content. I'm losing my mind following this team and covering this team. So could you please help me get to 1,000 subscribers? Click that subscribe button. It's right here. Just click subscribe. The support helps a lot, you guys. Shouts to my man Vic, who talked to me today at the game. Click subscribe, please. Join Night Watch. We will be back with much more content. Basketball's coming up. One more game for football, and then we're going to have a bowl game. But this is an absolute and utter heartbreaker. This is probably one of the worst things I've witnessed as a Rutgers football fan in a very long time. So absolutely brutal, guys. I don't know how you can enjoy the rest of your weekend. You can try, go take your mind off football. But I really appreciate all the support. I appreciate the views. Please click subscribe. Larry K is out.